Yeah, pause YouTube, 6fthax here. Happy for you guys today. A Wi-Fi battle I got off of my Discord against Thicctornadus. But before all that, guys, if you may have missed my 18K special announcement video, a link to that should be down in the description or on the screen for you guys to go check out. We really appreciate it if you guys go watch that. Of course, if you do enjoy the video, make sure to hammer on that like button down below to answer the question of the day. Now, looking at team preview, this is obviously an OU battle, and going into this matchup, his Mega Mawile can absolutely destroy me late game if my Ferrothorn is weakened. Funny enough though, my Mega Mawile can also destroy him. Although my Ferrothorn does have a lot of pressure on it in this battle because I needed to check the Latios and this Tapu Lele, funny enough. So definitely have to watch out for his Mega Mawile. As he ends up leading off with the Tapu Lele, I'm going to be leading off with my Zygarde. Now, I thought he would lead off with his Landorus. He probably thought I was going to do the same, which is why he led off with his Tapu Lele. So not wanting to take a not Focus Blast, but not wanting to take a Moon Blast, and very positive that he wouldn't Focus Blast or Hidden Power Fire turn 1, I switched into my Ferrothorn directly. I'm not even gonna lie, I accidentally overlooked Tapu Lele, so as soon as he let off with that, I was like, crap, he's probably going to predict my switch out here. Luckily though, because it was the very first turn of the game, he didn't decide to over predict there, as I actually ended up going for Lair Spikes, expecting him to switch out, most likely turning out to be a choice variant of Tapu Lele. I thought that maybe he was going to go for the taunt, but at the same time I didn't think he would risk staying in against Ferrothorn, so I think spiking up there was a really good play on my part, because getting that residual damage on his team is going to be really nice. As he switched into the Tangrowth, I thought for a second that that was going to be Hidden Power Ice as soon as I switched into my Landorus, but it does kind of make sense for it to be Hidden Power Fire, because why else would you switch a Ferrothorn directly? Why else would you switch a Tangrowth directly into a Ferrothorn, is what I meant to say. So I take the Hidden Power Fire, get up my rocks, then this next turn, expecting him to switch out, I'm actually going to go for the Swords Dance, but he stays in and over predicts and goes for the Earthquake. Now, I was actually very close to clicking Swords Dance here again, because him switching into his own Landorus or into his own Mawile is very obvious, but after thinking about it, honestly, getting off a huge +1 Continental Crush on either Mawile or Landorus is going to be absolutely huge, because Mawile is the biggest threat going into this battle unless Volcarona sets up, and then weakening Landorus just means I can knock him out and get rid of his Stealth Rocker. But he actually switched directly into his Latios, thinking that I would probably go for that second Swords Dance or maybe go for the Earthquake, and by getting rid of his Latios, that means his Defogger is now gone, which means my rocks are here to stay for his entire team, and most importantly, that Volcarona. Not to mention, I also have a Lair Spikes up, which is pretty awesome. So he's going to actually end up over predicting this turn, thinking that I would switch out, but at this point, I don't really have much use for my Landorus outside of just trying to weaken whatever is in front of me. So I get off a solid amount of damage on his Landorus as he U-turns into the Volcarona. Obviously, Volcarona is going to be faster than me, so he's going to be able to knock me out with the Fire Blast. Happy he hit there, because I played a match earlier where I got really lucky with hacks, and I would have been slightly upset if he had missed the Fire Blast there. That's fine though, because I can bring in Tapu Koko here, and I will be able to knock him out with the Thunderbolt. There's nothing at this point that should be able to safely switch into my Tapu Koko. If you did want to bring in the Tangrowth, that just means Volcarona dies off the rocks, and then Tangrowth has to take Thunderbolt damage, Spikes damage, Rocks damage, and then this Tapu Koko actually has Brave Bird, which is really cool. I thought that was a nice little tech move to be able to weaken Tangrowth, because as you can see here, if I'd gone for the Brave Bird, I might have put him at about like 35-ish%, which would have been pretty decent, but it's not really too big of a deal, as I'm going to switch into my Mawile. I thought that he would actually go for the knockoff, but I mean, Earthquake honestly isn't a bad play either on his part. This really isn't too crucial for me, because I can still just Mega Evolve here and go straight for the Play Rough. Even if I don't knock out the Tangrowth, I'm going to severely weaken him, or I'm going to knock out whatever he decides to switch in, or if he brings in his own Mawile, then I'm going to still do a pretty solid amount of damage with the Play Rough, as he does decide to switch into his Landorus, and unless he's got Stealth Rocks on his Mawile, this means he most likely will not be able to get up rocks anymore, which is absolutely great, because that puts me at an even better advantage in this matchup, as in comes the Mawile here. I know that me sucker punching is entirely way too obvious, so I'm just going to be aggressive here and go for the Thunder Fang, which is going to be boosted by the electric terrain, funny enough. I'm not sure why he didn't bring in his Tapu Lele here, because he definitely could have done that as well, just to guarantee knocking me out. But I mean, Mawile honestly is a problem, but unless I was able to weaken it, which I should have been able to, then I could have put it in range of where Zygarde's 1,000 arrows would have knocked out this Mawile. So I don't know if him switching into Mawile instead of Tapu Lele there would have really been entirely game-changing. And I do manage to play around the Mawile correctly enough, and because I am probably running more speed than he is, I'm able to out-prioritize the Sucker Punch, knock him out. In comes the Tapu Lele. At this point, he's got this Tapu Lele and the Tangrowth, and on the off chance that for some reason this is like a substitute Tapu Lele, then I'm gonna go for Thunder Fang. Plus, is it Thunder Fang or Thunder Punch? I don't know, it's one of the two. But either way, Sucker Punch wouldn't have worked. But just, if he did have sub, I should have been able to break his sub with the Thunder Fang, even if I was outside of electric terrain. As I bring in my Tapu Koko here, it turns out that he's actually Scarf, which, like I said, I thought he was maybe Spexed or not a Scarf variant. I knew he was Choice, but I didn't think he'd be Scarf, judging from how much damage he did to my Ferrothorn. But maybe that's just more of a physically defensive Ferrothorn. Either way, though, unfortunately, the Lele does just barely survive. I really wanted to knock out Tapu Lele here and then Brave Bird the Tangrowth. Unfortunately, though, that is not going to happen anymore, as I'm going to switch out here just because I still do want to Brave Bird Tangrowth. That's kind of how I wanted to end off this battle, so I just really switched in my Zygarde here as Death Fodder. Unfortunately, though, Zygarde is extremely bulky, and outside of Psychic Surge, there's no way Tapu Lele is going to be able to KO me. So down goes Lele. At this point, his last Pokemon is the Tangrowth, which I do have Toxic on the Zygarde, and I have Brave Bird on my Tapu Koko. So the combination of those two mons should be able to pick off this Tangrowth, I'm pretty sure. So that is going to be the game, guys. Going to end the narration a little bit short here before the actual match ends, but if you guys would ever like to battle me, of course, guys, my Discord is down in the description. Again, guys, please check out the 18K special video if you have not watched it already. Thank you again. I can't speak. Thank you again, guys, so much for 18K. So yeah, really excited to do the special, find out what that special is on that video. So good game to Thicctornadus. Like I said, I'm pretty sure he does upload, so I'll leave his channel link and stuff down below for you guys to go check out. If it's not there, then remind me and I will add it. So thank you all for watching, guys. Make sure to hammer arm that like button down below, and to answer the question of the day, and 2 videos on the end screen as always. So later, everybody.
Cause my brain and heart are both tied in a knot, and this hinders me from crying a lot. This causing me to show no emotion. But when I said I cared, I wasn't joking. But I guess it's too late for me to become broken. For now, I'm living with no more pain, tears, or hoping. I'm just coasting. Yeah, I said I'm coasting. No more pain, tears, and hoping. For real.